you're going to be exposed by the Father because you are falsely representing him and you're falsely representing his word. So we're done here. I'm out. Goodbye.
Thanks, Joe. Are you able to leave, or do I have to do something?
Flat earthers can't even rage quit without making themselves look like idiots. So let's find out how we got here, shall we? Please subscribe.
The main reason we are having this conversation is because I told Joe that I did not think he was being honest about a couple of things.
Couple of things? Well, I think you'll find it's more than a couple of things. You must have forgotten he's a flat earther.
No, you called me a liar.
Yes, I did.
Yeah? Well, you're a flat earther, and flat earthers aren't exactly known for their honesty, are they?
You can't handle the truth!
Okay.
And just so everyone knows, I do not call people liars flippantly.
Same as me. Well, I don't call people liars flippantly either. I only call people liars if I can prove that they're lying. You know, like I do with the flat earthers I respond to.
In this whole world of the debate over flat earth and globe, you can't listen to content from either side for very long without hearing them call each other liars. So that is thrown around a ton. But me personally, if you guys listen to my content, I will rarely say that.
I will never understand why flat earthers get so upset when somebody calls them a liar. How can you expect to knowingly tell lies like you do about the shape of the earth and then not have anybody call you out on it? But there is an alternative if you prefer it. If you're 100% not a liar and you're a flat earther, then the option is that you're an idiot. So you pick liar or idiot.
I'll say things like you're wrong, or that's false, or that's not true. But to call somebody a liar means you believe you have information on their intentions and you think that they are knowingly saying something that is wrong.
Flat earthers always say things which they know are wrong. So yeah, their intention is to lie to people.
I would not say that unless I felt like I had good evidence to back it up. So
you don't think lying and deceiving is wrong, so it's kind of funny.
What makes you say that?
Your sermons.
And did you listen to them, or did you only hear like a small clip?
Come on, Will, you've been around flat earthers long enough to know the answer to that one, haven't you?
Okay, so this is important. You think it's always wrong no matter what to lie?
Yes.
Then you're either one of two things. You're either an idiot who believes the earth is flat, or you're not a flat earther at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into crazy claims that you like to do these weird, like before when you're talking about what do you think about the Titanic, you like to divert, you like to play word games, you like to do all this weird stuff and create these weird scenarios that try to manipulate the situation to make things fit your narrative. And I'm just not going to play that game.
And if that's what you think, then that's what you think, Joe. But what Will's probably doing, and this is just my interpretation of it because we're all different, he's asking you questions that you don't want to answer, which in your tiny little flurf brain then leads you to think that Will is trying to manipulate you in some way, when in reality, all he's doing is asking you questions you cannot answer. Because you, sir, are a fop doodle. Look it up.
Why don't we do this? Why don't you prove your claim that I lied, intentionally lied?
Ask him what shape the earth is. Quick.
Okay, so let me...
That's what we're here to talk about, Will. We're here to talk about your claim that you said that you could prove that I intentionally lied about when I decided that it did work.
What did? Your model? No, it doesn't. You haven't proved anything other than the fact that you can make a model from your imagination. Unless, of course, you're ready to tell us where you buy those gigantic screws and washers from.
Okay, let me catch the audience up because this is going to be new to almost all of them. So I have made the claim, and again, I don't do this loosely and lightly, but I've made the claim that I think Joe Hanvey has lied about two things. The first one is when he became a flat earther. And the second one is what convinced him to change his mind on the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So do you want to give your take so that everybody knows your position, and then I'll explain to the audience why I think you're not being honest?
Don't worry, I haven't forgotten I'm making a video. I'm just trying to be a gentleman and let Will and Joe have their say before I start butting in again.
Okay, so this new claim, that's new to me. You've never said that to me. That first claim, you've never said that to me. So
I thought I mentioned it.
Dishonest right there.
I thought I mentioned it with Vika, but
Yeah,
if
you
I
thought
didn't,
you did. See, you're being dishonest. This is what you do.
Oh, the irony! It's too much!
Okay, so Joe, I'm telling you right now, I think that you have lied about when you first became a flat earther. So do you want to tell everybody what you've already told me and others as to when you became a flat earther?
Well, based on what I just watched in his very first video, which was uploaded to his channel 10 months ago, he says it was around 2004. But it does seem a bit weird why he would then wait until 2024 to make his first video about it.
Yeah. I've already said it many times. I'm here for you to prove your claim. That's a new claim you're adding in. So I'm cool with that because I'm not afraid, man. I haven't lied.
Okay, so could you tell everybody when you're claiming you became a flat earther?
Roughly sometime between, I think, 2009 and 2012, somewhere in that time frame. I don't remember exactly.
But the internet does. Look, here's you saying that you were a flat earther sometime around 2004.
Probably around 2004, 2005. However, I've always said that I was in the closet for many years. So.
Okay.
And about 5 years ago is when I really started letting everybody know what I was doing. Not what I was doing, that I was a flat earther. Not publicly, like online or anything, but all my close friends and family, I really started talking about it a lot more and how important it was.
Well, this isn't confusing at all, is it? So, as far as we are aware from what you've said and what Will and I have shown, you've been a flat earther sometime between 10 months and 15 years, but for the bulk of that time, you were conveniently in the closet about it and made no mention of it online.
And that we had been deceived on a level we can't even imagine. And then roughly 3 years ago, I started the modeling process. But 5 years ago, I started studying and doing actual research out in the field to learn and observe our Earth system so that I could try to model it. I've said that consistently, so.
But why bother trying to model something which we've had a model of since around the 5th century BC?
Go ahead,
Okay.
try to prove me wrong.
Typical flat earth tactics. Okay, I've got £10 million piled up neatly under my desk here. You just can't see it. Try to prove me wrong. Flat earthers wonder why people make fun of them.
Okay, cool. So I know this doesn't matter to you, but for what it's worth, if what you're saying is true, that makes you the first modern day flat earther in the world.
No, it doesn't. That's such a false statement, dude. There's
Hold
tons
on.
of books on flat Earth. Like, just go look.
So modern day, what I'm talking about is alive today. There is no one today alive on this planet that claims to be a flat earther that far back. So you would literally be the first.
You're making false claims.
Okay, who do you know that was a flat earther?
I'm not going to get into this with you. You're going to prove what you said you're going to prove,
Okay.
or we're done.
Okay,
Simple as that.
no problem.
Remember I said earlier on in this video that flat earthers really don't like answering questions? Well, there we go. Another perfect example. Why wouldn't you answer that?
Okay, so Joe, this is super important. I received an email in September. So this is months ago. I get hundreds of emails, if not thousands. And this email was from someone who claims they know you.
If you're going to go to that avenue again of trying to defame my character, I've already said that I am an advocate for medical marijuana. It's not a big part of my life. That is that is a poisoning the well, basically just trying to defame my character based on something that's ignorance anyway, because it's a natural plant. Pharmaceuticals are way worse for anybody, so go ahead, like whatever. But I guarantee you that person is not close to me, 100%.
Why are you being so defensive? You don't even know what's in this email yet. It was sent to Will, not you. And you're just using very common flat earther tactics. Discredit before you even know what the hell it's about.
Okay, so yeah, let me finish. So when I got this email, I had to think it through, and I had to say, is this person telling the truth? Are they not? I didn't know what to do with it. And so I literally didn't tell anybody. I didn't share it. I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind. Like, I don't know if this is true or not. And hearing you and being involved with you more and more, it started to become clear to me that I think this email was true. Now, I have redacted some of this email, which I think mentions things that are a little too personal about you that I don't think you would want publicly shared. So I'm doing that out of respect for you. But I am going to share this email with you and explain to you why I think that this email is right and is accurate, and why I decided that the person who shared this was telling me the truth and you were not.
Is it because the person who sent you the email isn't a flat earther and Joe is? Or at least he claims to be.
It says, Mr. Duffy, I wanted to give you some info on Joe Hanvey and his background. I saw him on Facebook posting the video of his interview on your channel and a few other things in regards to you. I watched the video and I hope this message is informative for your information going forward in the future. I also want to add that what you're doing here and how you're approaching guys like Joe is by far the best I've seen. I have known Joe since we were kids. I was good friends with his older brother, who is not a flat earther, growing up. We know each other's families and have always had the same groups of friends for quite some time. Here's the important part. He smoked a lot of weed and still does to this day. But to make a longer story short, getting to the point of now, Joe did not become a flat earther until sometime in early 2021. He tried to tell everyone.
Hold on. Let me say this. You got to tell me who this is, because otherwise it can't be falsified.
All you're trying to do is deflect attention from the accusation itself by focusing on the identity of the accuser. Now, while knowing the accuser's identity can be helpful for context or to investigate their motives, it doesn't automatically invalidate their statement. It's the content of the claim itself you need to be focusing on.
I have to know who it is.
I would need his permission to share this with you.
See, then this is inadmissible.
Hold on.
It's inadmissible.
Order! When did this become a courtroom? Inadmissible.
You can't use it because you're not gonna tell me who my accuser is. You can't use it. Whoever this is lying.
Okay, so Joe, here's what I'm.
They've already lied. I know they have.
Oh, the irony! It's too much!
Here's all I'm trying to say.
No, see, you are trying to poison the well and defame me with false information, Will.
Now, I know this is probably a waste of breath to say to a flat earther, then prove it's all wrong.
That's false. This email is false. My brother, he doesn't care about flat Earth, but he absolutely knows the Earth is flat.
Nice way to throw your brother under the bus.
So this person is lying. Yes, I used to smoke weed. I lived a very wicked life before I came to Jesus Christ. A very wicked life. What do you want me to tell you about my past? I'll tell you any of it because I'm unashamed.
Well, you could start off by telling us exactly when you became a flat earther.
Well, no,
I've been changed by Jesus Christ. That 2021 is a freaking lie. The whole me smoking pot all the time is a lie. Now, back in the day, yeah, absolutely. Not anymore.
How long ago was that?
How long ago was what?
That you gave that up?
It doesn't matter.
Now, I happen to completely agree with Joe on this point. It is completely irrelevant whether he does or doesn't smoke weed, has absolutely no bearing on whether he is or isn't intelligent. He isn't a flat earther because he smokes weed. He isn't prone to believe stupid things because he smokes weed. He's prone to those things because he's a conspiracy theorist.
Okay,
it's not evidence.
Okay, so I just want you to know, Joe, that
I don't
hold
care
on.
what you want me to know.
Please
I
don't
want
interrupt me.
I want you to provide real evidence, not
Okay.
fake, made up crap.
Now, I know they're not directly discussing flat Earth right at this second, but it's interesting to me that flat Earth tactics get used by flat Earthers even when they're not talking about flat Earth. Yeah, we all know flat Earthers don't care what any of us have to say. We know flat Earthers don't care about any evidence that's presented to them, especially if it goes against what they believe.
Okay, that's fine. I just want you to know this is super important. I've sat on this since September, thinking about it, dwelling on it, trying to decide if I think this person was telling the truth. And I hopped on Vika and I asked you about the marijuana piece as just a way of trying to decide if I thought this email was true or not. And you immediately distanced yourself from the marijuana. And you mentioned that you support it for medical use, which I do too.
So do I. We're practically triplets.
Marijuana will be made available free on the NHS for the treatment of chronic diseases, such as itchy scrot.
This person that you think is lying about you, I think they're a little bit closer to you than you realize.
You have no idea how happy it would make me if this email was from Joe's brother.
And they sent me your recent birthday cake. And
That's not recent.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 44.
Okay, so anyway, they sent this to me.
My family had that made for me because I am a huge advocate for medical cannabis, bud.
Okay.
So you're taking things out of context. You're trying to use something that is not bad to defame my character. It's weird, Will. Get off of it. Move on. You're trying to build a case with false information that wouldn't hold up in court. I've admitted that I am for medical cannabis. Do I smoke weed every single day of my life? Is it a big part of my life? No. Do I suffer from ankylosing spondylitis, an autoimmune disease. Do I, on occasion, use medical marijuana for pain relief? Yes. I'm not going to make any excuse for that. I advocate for medical marijuana extremely heavily and have for many, 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 many years. So let's get off of that. Let's get to what you're here to do and prove me as a liar about when I decided that it worked, that the 24-hour sun could work in the biblical cosmological model.
So just a second, I need to make sure I'm understanding what he's saying. So he thinks he's proven that a 24-hour Antarctic sun can work on a flat Earth, which is a joke anyway. And to back up that joke, which doesn't exist, you're going to use biblical cosmology, which is another branch of the flat earthers' arsenal, which is about as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike. Awesome.
I'm so stupid. I don't know what I was thinking.
All right. So yeah, so I think a lot of the Final Experiment community and audience knows you from all of the different attempts you made to try to make a 24-hour sun work on a flat Earth. Can you tell the audience when you changed your mind? Because you took a definitive stance that there was no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Then you changed your mind. Approximately when was that?
I never took a definitive stance that there was no possibility that it could work.
Didn't you? Well, most other flat earthers did.
The 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat Earth.
On a flat Earth, you can't have a 24-hour sun, a midnight sun in Antarctica.
Let me and you go to Antarctica, spend a week there in the summer, and let's see if the sun does a 360-degree circle all the way around us. If so, it's a ball.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear, Dean, that we did, and it did.
I did think, based on what we had, that it probably didn't happen.
So what you're saying then is you thought there wouldn't be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica based on absolutely nothing at all then? Because that's what flat earthers have always had. Absolutely nothing.
I had never tested it for myself. I had never really given it much thought. I admitted that I didn't even start trying to model it until after you brought up the Final Experiment. I said that plainly. So, but I started changing my mind when I started really thinking about it. I started thinking, well, Truth fears no investigation.
Flat Earth does, though, which is why every single flat earther on YouTube is now only trying to discredit the final experiment.
The Earth is level, so there's got to be a way that it works.
Then prove it, Joe. And by the way, flat and level are not the same thing. But I'm guessing that a flat earther of your caliber doesn't need that explained to them.
And then I talked to my friend in New Zealand, and he showed me how the sun rises and sets physically to him during the winter solstice. And we were going through an app, and I was like, wow, maybe the 24-hour sun actually does work. I've been modeling the system. Let me try to model it. So there's a difference in starting to change my mind that it probably didn't happen to, well, it can happen, and then deciding, oh, it actually does happen. See, there's a difference here.
I got a difference for you as well. It only happens because the Earth is a globe tilted on its axis. You forgot to mention that part.
And I went through stages, and I've been clear about that. I've gone through stages the whole time. That's how growth happens. You go through stages. So when I physically decided, oh, it does happen, was after I had done it in the model.
Okay, cool. So someone commented, and they heard you as well talk about in a conversation about there not being a 24-hour sun on a flat Earth. You added to that by saying, my friend is in Antarctica and says there's no 24-hour sun. So I think at that point...
No, that's not what I said. I said she said the sun rose and set. Go watch the tape.
Okay.
And you falsely claimed that I bragged about it. I said one sentence. How is that bragging? See, this is what you do.
Okay.
You lie and manipulate because you are a master at lying and manipulating.
Oh, the irony! It's too much!
And you do it with that little grin on your face like everything's good and everything's cool. And everybody knows it.
Yeah, well, pack it in. What are you always so bloody happy about?
Like, people can go into X and read your interactions with Austin Whitsitt and see how big of a liar you are.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course you don't.
Okay. So anyway, if I said bragged and I overstated my case, my apologies on that. But
thank you. See, you're proving that you do manipulate.
Okay. But I will tell you that saying that the sun rises and sets is the same thing as saying there's not a 24-hour sun.
So if my friend was on a cruise in Antarctica and she told me that the sun rises and sets, and I repeat that statement, is that a lie?
If your friend was there during the summer solstice, then yes, it is a lie. She lied to you, and you lied when you passed on her lie.
I never said you lied.
Okay. What? All right. So not only is it not a lie, is that me bragging? No, you just admitted that. That is me simply making a statement that I heard from somebody else. That does not denote my stance. It does not denote what I think or any of that. So trying to speculate on my motives and intentions and beliefs based off of a single statement doesn't work, bud. Again,
Yeah,
you don't have evidence.
Okay.
Show me your evidence of where you can prove that I lied about when I decide. This is what your claim was. You said you could prove that I lied about when I decided that it actually worked. I want you to prove that. You're not doing that. All you're doing is presenting false information.
Oh, the irony! It's too much!
Okay, so Joe, all I'm pointing out is that conversation where you said this was about the fact that there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. That was the whole conversation in a room of flat earthers. And so anybody would interpret your statement of, I have evidence that you're right, that there is no 24-hour sun.
Yeah, but I didn't ask for the mic. I had my friend sitting beside me. Dean was standing right there in front of us. When he was saying that, I looked over to my friend Chad and I said, yeah, I just recently had a friend there and she said the sun rose and set. So, and that's all I said. And then Dean walks over and says, can you say that again? And I said, yeah, I had a friend in Antarctica and she said that the sun set. She was outside the Antarctic Circle, though.
What Antarctic Circle? A flat Earth doesn't have an Antarctic Circle. It has a stupid icy ring. I had an icy ring once. I sat down in the snow for too long.
And as a matter of fact, she did tell me that I think she said it set at like 11 something something p.m. and rose at like 2 something a.m. And I did think, I was like, wow, that's in the sky for a long time, but I didn't think much about that.
Okay. By the way, for what it's worth, the Antarctic Circle can only exist on a globe.
Are you going to answer that one then, Joe?
That you want.
You keep saying stuff like that. You don't even have a model.
I do. The Antarctic Circle is created by
a model must be able to demonstrate things in the micro just like it does in the macro. You cannot get water to stick to a ball. You can't get gas pressure to stick around a ball. You can't get any of that to happen. You can't do gravity on a micro scale. So you don't have a model, Will. No, you don't.
So pretty much like every other flat earther on YouTube then, because you don't understand how these things work, they're automatically fake and the earth is flat.
No, globe does not have a model.
Joe, saying that the earth doesn't have a model is like saying I've got an excellent head of hair.
You just
you have concepts and theories.
You just strawmanned the word model. So I'm going to go ahead and push back on you. Do car models exist?
Yes, car models exist.
Do they have internal combustion engines in them?
Many of them do, yes.
Do all of them?
No.
Okay, are they still models?
Yes.
Okay, so what you said is false.
No, it's
a
not.
model does not have to be an exact representation of what it's representing.
It has to physically demonstrate a phenomenon, right?
And that's exactly what the real Earth did when they all went to Antarctica for the final experiment. You bang on and on and on about models, and I know this may seem unfair because at least you're the only one who's actually trying, but your model is a joke, just like flat Earth.
No.
You cannot get water to stick to a spinning ball. You can't get gas pressure on a spinning ball next to a near perfect vacuum. You have no medium, no container, no charge for light. Fundamentally, from the start, the concept and theory of a flat Earth or a biblical cosmological Earth is better from the start. You don't even have a container. We do.
Yeah, but your model is just that. A model, and that's all it'll ever be. It does in no way represent anything remotely close to reality. And the reason the Earth doesn't have a container, and I'm guessing because you're a flat earther you mean some sort of physical container, it's because it doesn't need to. Because gravity does a brilliant job at keeping everything where it needs to be.
So I have a toy car model. What does that have to have?
We're not going to do this. We're going to get you to prove. We're not here to debate this anymore, Will. I'm not debating this with you. Nobody's going to change your mind. You wanted to be the savior of the globe. You admitted it. You're upset that somebody actually demonstrated that the phenomena is possible within a flat Earth model, and you're trying to do damage control. You're trying to defame character.
Oh, the irony!
So prove that I lied, and we're going to move on. That's it. I'm not going to go back and forth with you in this word game that you like to try to do. You're going to prove that I lied. Prove it right now, or we're done.
Okay, that's fine. Just so you know, if you're going to bring up a different topic, you brought up saying the globe doesn't have a model, and I pushed back because that's false. You brought up the Antarctic Circle. I showed that's only possible on a globe.
You didn't show anything. You said. So let's stop with it. I'm done. I'm not going to bring up other topics. You're gonna prove what you said you're gonna prove, or we're done.
Oh, is the poor baby getting his little feelings hurt?
Great. Okay, so Joe, what I do not believe is your claim, and you can reiterate this if you need, but I do not believe your claim that you changed your mind on the 24-hour sun in Antarctica because you started shining a flashlight on that plastic dome behind you.
That's exactly why he believes he's cracked the code for making a 24-hour sun work on a flat Earth in Antarctica.
I changed my mind before that. I decided that it was absolutely possible after that. There is a difference.
Can you help me understand the difference? I'm not seeing it.
I've already said that, and if you can't see the difference in that and starting to change your mind and then making a decision, then I can't help you.
Not sure why I'm defending a flat earther, but I think what he's trying to say is that he decided it would work, and then he went and tried his little experiment with his pudding basin and a torch, and that was what made him sure it would work, even though it doesn't by any stretch of anyone's imagination.
So here's where I'm struggling, Joe.
Yeah,
there are millions and millions of people who believe in the globe. And when I announced
that's
the
an
final
appeal to
experiment,
authority. It's a fallacy. It makes your argument wrong.
No, it doesn't. That was just a simple statistic.
I haven't made my argument yet, so you
just
can't
said
say
there's
that.
millions and millions of people who believe in a globe. That's an appeal to authority.
That's not an appeal to authority. That's a fact.
It's an appeal to authority in a
No.
debate, and we're not really in a debate. We're here for you to prove that I lied. I want you to prove that I lied and stop diverting.
It cannot be an appeal to authority unless I state that the fact that there's millions of people believe in a globe proves something, which I'm not going to say because you interrupted me. Millions of people believe in the globe. When I announced the final experiment, not a single person that believes in the globe was working on models to try to figure out how the sun might set in Antarctica.
I've said a similar thing in previous videos, and the reason for that is because we didn't need to. Remember you said earlier on that truth fears no investigation? Why is it then that it was only flat earthers that were making these preemptive strikes towards the 24-hour sun before the people had even got there to confirm it? Not that it needed to be confirmed. It happens every bloody year.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that I find it extremely difficult to believe, and I'd be curious what everyone else thinks.
Well, I think the same. No, hang on a second. He hasn't said what it is yet, has he? Carry on, Will.
That you just decided out of the blue to say maybe a 24-hour sun is possible. What caused you to believe that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica would be possible on a flat Earth? What was that moment?
Well, I already knew we live in an enclosed system.
Well, we don't, so there's presupposition 1.
I already know the floor is level.
Presupposition 2.
I already know that we need a container for everything.
3.
I know we're not on a globe.
Come on, I'm running out of fingers.
We falsified it. I have personally falsified the Umbro shadow for the lunar eclipse. So I know for a fact that the floor is level. So anything that does occurs over that level surface. I already said, after I spoke with my friend in New Zealand and he physically showed me how the sun was rising and setting in his sky at the summer solstice for the southern part of the realm, that I was like, wow, wait a minute, this thing may actually work. Let me try to model it, since I've already been trying to model other stuff. I've said that repeatedly. Like, how many times do I have to say it?
I like your logic there, Joe. So somebody who isn't in Antarctica told you that the sun rose and set where they live in New Zealand, and that was what inspired you to build a model to try and prove how the 24-hour sun works on a flat Earth in Antarctica.
So there's a difference there, Will. There is this progression of growth and knowing and changing as you get new information. And
hopefully you can see that I am easy to talk to, easygoing, and I appreciate this new piece of information that you're giving me about your friend in New Zealand. So that's
not new. We've talked about this before.
That seems believable to me. But I want to tell you that you have not modeled a 24-hour sun in Antarctica in your model.
Okay, so we're not here to talk about that. We know you don't agree with the model. That's not why we're here. We're here for you to prove that I lied, which you're not doing.
I am going to do this, Joe. I am believing this person that claims that they grew up with you and has known you for years. I am taking what they said and I'm believing that it's true, because I don't have a good reason to think that what they sent in this email is just a made up fabrication.
And as a caveat to that, added by yours truly, you are justified in being skeptical of anything Joseph Hamvey says. because he's a flat earther. And we all know that flat earthers just tell lie after lie after lie.
Well, I have my best friend in my whole life that knows for a fact I told him that I thought the earth was flat over 10 years ago, when he was just going into nursing school to become an anesthesiologist. He is now an anesthesiologist, and he will come on record and tell you that the very first time I told him was 10 years ago or so. And he was like, Joe, it doesn't matter. It's not a salvation issue. That was his exact words to me.
Sounds like a genius. They're not a flat earther as well, are they? So what your friend is advising you then is what flat earthers already do. If anybody presents any evidence to you that you don't like or you think disproves what you believe, then just ignore it.
So let's move past the email that is obviously a lie, because my very best friend in the whole world will testify to this. My brother, who has been with me a long time, can tell you that I was studying this stuff a long time ago. So,
Okay.
just wrong. And whoever that is, I'm going to find out.
Okay.
They'll tell me, because if they're really close to me, they'll tell me. So I'll find out who it was, and then I will make a video, but I'm not going to ever address you or any glober ever again. No globe zealot.
Oh, brilliant. Don't say that. I was hoping for a reply. I've been making this video for 2 days. Why do you think I'm sitting down?
Okay, so Joe, this is important.
This is important.
What I heard you say on Vika, which is why I said I think you're lying, was that you changed your mind because of your modeling. And so hold on, don't interrupt. I thought that through in my head, and I thought to myself, if I shined a flashlight on a plastic dome, I would never think all of a sudden, magically, there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. That did not seem believable to me.
How many flashlights have you shined through domes?
None.
Okay.
Will, don't sound so disappointed. It's a good thing you haven't done that.
And I am now going to debunk your model. And I think you would want to be here for that, to make sure that my debunk is accurate. But that's up to you.
We're not here for you to debunk my model. See, I don't care.
I am.
I don't care if you think you debunk my model. It doesn't matter, Will, because there's so many other people who don't agree with that. The only people who follow that train of thought are you and globe zealots like you. That's it.
That's not true.
A lot of biblical cosmologists think that I've clearly stated, do not cling to a model.
Is he taking the piss? Your whole channel, your whole identity on YouTube revolves around your stupid flat earth model.
Do not cling to me. This is not a 100% factual representation.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
All it is proof of concept that these things can work in a closed system with a domed structure. That has been my claim from the beginning, and this model does show that these things can work.
Ah, right, so you're not actually claiming that that's what you think the Earth looks like? Whew.
Do I need to improve it? Do I know how to improve it? Yes, I know both of those things. This is like the very early prototypical infant stages of a model. I have tons of ideas to make it better and better, to demonstrate more and more. So you can go on and debunk. You've already been proven a liar in saying that I lied and that you could prove it, because you won't do it. You tried to use a false email, of which I have multiple witnesses that can debunk your email that are really close to me. So you have not proven your case. You have not given any evidence. I'm going to get off of here now because you haven't done that. And you can go ahead and do your hit piece and debunk my model for all your globe zealot friends. But I'm done, Will. I'm done with you. I don't think you're an honest person. I think you are a weasel. I think you are narcissistic to the nth degree. You are a manipulator. You think that you're so much smarter than everybody else, and you're not. Your ego is through the roof, and it's evident.
You forgot millionaire. Most flat earthers always call Will a millionaire because now that is somehow an insult.
So that's what I'm going to finish with. You claim to be a follower of Christ, and you teach against his word. You are a false teacher and a false prophet, and the Father of lights and his Messiah, Jesus Christ, are going to deal with you, buddy. They're going to deal with you.
Ooh, scary.
So that's it.
Joe,
I'm done. I'm out.
Joe,
Like, you can go ahead and debunk the model all you want for your globe zealots. You didn't prove I was a liar. I'm not going to entertain you anymore. As a matter of fact, my mom sent me an email telling me, she's like, don't engage with this guy. I told you not to engage with him anymore. And she did. And I didn't listen. So I'm going to listen to her right now, and I'm done with you. And you can go ahead and debunk my model for all your globe zealots and all these people that ridicule and make fun and call names and all that. Go right ahead. You're a false teacher. You're a false prophet. The Father wants to expose you, and he's doing that. Goodbye, sir.
Hey, Joe, flat earthers have debunked your model, and they've been trying to debunk your model for months, but you won't listen to them.
Yeah, but that's probably because, and this is just tapping into my own sensibilities, nobody likes being told they're wrong by anyone, let alone to be told you're wrong by people that you actually thought agreed with you. And by the way, I'm going to completely shut up now and let you enjoy the worst rage quit I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot. It's like it all happened in slow motion. Well,
I don't care what you think anymore, Will. I don't care what all the globe zealots think. Go ahead, debunk the model, say you debunked it all you want. I'm going to keep doing me as Jesus tells me to do me, but you're going to be exposed. I don't know when it's going to happen, but you're going to be exposed by the Father because you are falsely representing him and you're falsely representing his word. So we're done here. I'm out. Goodbye.
Thanks, Joe. Are you able to leave, or do I have to do something?
What an absolute tool. Now, sorry the videos are a lot longer than they usually are, but I wanted to leave pretty much the entirety of the debate between Will and Joe Hamvey in this video so that I couldn't be accused of changing the context or any of that good stuff. If you have made it this far, comment with the emoji with the dark glasses on, so only you and I will know then, because not everybody's going to get this far into the video. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again on Monday. Love you. Bye. 4 nuns go to confession. The first nun goes in and says, I touched a man's privates with my hand. And the priest goes, well, if it was on purpose, go and wash your hand in the holy water. The second nun goes in and says, Father, I too have touched a man's privates with both my hands. The priest says, you also go and wash both your hands with the holy water in the font. The fourth nun then turns and says to the third nun, can I go before you? I don't want to gargle that water after you've both washed your hands in it.